Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I got ready and I was like, well, I might as well make a video because I usually look like shit when I make videos. But today's video is basically about my experience in the Netherlands. I get so many DMs asking me pretty much the same questions and I don't mind answering them, but I figured I might as well just make a video about it. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys today. So for those of you who don't know, I did a semester abroad in the Netherlands. I was in Rotterdam, which is about 45 minutes to an hour away from Amsterdam, and I was studying at Erasmus University. My home school was SFSU, San Francisco State University, and I was studying communication studies there. So when I went to the Netherlands, I was part of their communication and media studies, I believe is what it was called, or communication and media school. They have different schools there, like they have their business and law and whatnot. So I was part of the communications one. So today's video is basically going to be about how I found housing, how my experience was, what the school itself was like, and if I would recommend it. So let's get into it. One of the questions that I get asked the most is how I found housing, and I did not live on campus, mainly because they released the uniforms, the dorms way in advance prior to when I was leaving. So I went for the fall semester of 2018 and they released the dorms, I want to say like maybe in June, I want to say. I could be wrong, but it seemed very far in advance because the semester didn't start until September, and I wasn't really sure when I was leaving yet. I wasn't sure if that was like a normal price range, because I think they were about 600 euros per month. I'm not entirely sure. Those numbers could have changed from 2018 to 2021. But I just wanted to see if there were better alternatives. I also wasn't sure. I mean, in the US, like the people who live in the dorms are freshmen, and that was going to be my third year in college. I wasn't trying to like live that party scene, I guess you could say, or just like what the dorms here in the US are like. I wasn't sure if that's what it was gonna be like over there, and I would have a kitchen and just like live life. The dorms actually ended up being way different. I do believe they have two different options though, but the ones that I saw, it was like a suite basically, and they had 3 rooms in there, all fairly good sized rooms in comparison to what you have in San Francisco, and they had a kitchen and like a little dining room area. So they were actually pretty nice dorms. I was kind of like, maybe I should have gone with the dorms, but I also really liked my place, so I was not mad. I found housing through a Facebook group, and I will link the group in the description box. I do believe you have to be accepted to get into the group, but people are constantly posting their rooms for sublease or for needing new roommates or whatever. Originally I was going for the year, but I wasn't too convinced on being there for the year. I knew that I could graduate early if I came back a semester early, so I was kind of like on the edge about it, and within a month of being there I knew that I was not going to stay for the year. But that's another story. And so I subleased for a girl who was also doing an exchange, and so I took over her apartment for a semester. Actually, she was gone shorter time than what I was there, so I ended up having to live in an Airbnb my last month, and it was a little bit more expensive than my original apartment there, but I wasn't mad. Like, I was like, I'm leaving after this anyway, so it doesn't matter. My room in the Netherlands was so nice. I kid you not. I mean, coming from San Francisco, I had to share, my freshman year, I shared my room with 3 other girls. My sophomore year, it was with 1 other girl, but our room was not that big, so I mean, it was just an average room. In the Netherlands, girl, I was thriving. My room was so big, and if I have a video of it, I'll insert it now.
It was so good. Seriously, it was so nice.
You're always so prepared. It was so nice, and it was so cheap. It was like, I want to say it was under 500 euros, and utilities were included. I don't even know why it was that cheap, but girl, I was thriving. I was able to host people in my room. Like, I would have 6 to 7 people in my room at a time. So yeah, I loved my room in the Netherlands. And my roommate, I only had 1 other roommate, and we had a kitchen, and we had a bathroom. And she was so cool. She was so sweet. She was Dutch. Oh, that was another one of the reasons why I didn't want to live on campus, because I assumed it would be a lot of other international students, and which is cool. Like, yeah, sure, I want to mingle with other international students, but I wanted to have a Dutch roommate who could like tell me where to go get my groceries, tell me if something is overly priced, where I could find this and that, and like I didn't know if people were going to speak English in the Netherlands, so I was like, I need to have a Dutch roommate, right? And I did, which was great. And she was so sweet, and her boyfriend, like, I spent the holidays with them. So, yeah, they were like family to me, and I still keep in touch with them to this day. Housing, again, it was kind of tough to find it. Like, I was on there constantly trying to find different rooms, messaging a bunch of people. And even then, I was a little sketch about it because I believe I sent her money, or no, I don't think I sent her money until I went to go see it, but I was worried that if I didn't leave like a few weeks in advance from when school started, I would be struggling to find housing. And that did happen to some of my friends. They weren't able to get into the dorms, and they were struggling to find a place to live in, so they were staying in hostels while school had already begun, and your girl was not trying to do all of that. So I left last week of August, I believe like August 22nd, and our school didn't start until September 7th. So I had some time just in case that did happen. But like I said, I loved my room, and yeah, it was a great experience for me when it came to housing. But I do know people struggled. So like I said, I will link the group in the description box and go ahead and check it out. Next thing, a lot of people ask me how I like the school. And like the school is honestly fine in my opinion. There are so many international students at that school that you are going to meet people from all sorts of countries. On my first day, so we had orientation the week before, and literally on my first day there, I made my friends that I stuck with for the rest of the semester there. I had a group of 5. It was a group of 5 of us. I was American/Mexican. The other one was Polish, German, Australian, and English, and then I had more friends aside from that, but she was always out and about too, but she was from Miami, and that was really cool because, I mean, obviously you're going on exchange, you want to meet people from around the world, and not, I mean, like, yes, it's cool to have people like you, and that was flawed for me. She was from Miami, and so she was like a Latina girl from the States, so we got along very well, and we really understood each other, so that was really good to have. And then obviously my friends who are kind of like teaching me about Europe, and just like the lifestyle in Europe is so different. So I would say I really enjoyed my time at the school. Was it hard? Hell yeah, dude. Like, that school was so hard. I don't even know why they have a partnership with my university, because if you look into the requirements to get into SFSU, it is not that hard to get into SFSU, honestly. So going from your regular education here in SFSU to going to Erasmus, which I believe ranks fairly high when it comes to education, I was just shook. Like, their system is so different from ours, and to them it's normal, I guess, because they grew up in that kind of environment. But to me, I was just like, why are you testing me every week? So thing about me, I suck at tests. Like, I just suck at tests since I was a child, and they test so heavily over there. A lot of the communications program at SFSU is writing papers, doing speeches, presentations, you know, it's a lot of verbal and written testing. Over there was like actual testing, like quizzes. I had one class. This is the most extreme class that I had. No, I had 2 extreme classes. One of them I actually failed. But one of my classes, we would have weekly quizzes on the reading, and that was about 50% of our grade. And then the other 50% of our grade was the final, which was also a test. So 100% of the class was testing, and that was super intense. I was stressed that entire quarter. Ooh, your girl was stressed, but I passed it, thank God. The other one that I failed, the instructions were just not clear to me. And okay, so another thing about me is that I'm a huge overthinker. So I was, you know, like, oh, like, I understand that they're very different in teaching when it comes to just teaching and grading and stuff. So I wanted to fully understand everything to make sure that I was doing it right. So I talked to the professor. I asked him if he could take a look at it beforehand. He says no, because I want to be fair to everybody else. And I was like, my guy, but I'm asking for help. But okay, I guess it's not fair. So then I turned in the paper, and he was like, yeah, you didn't like answer it correctly and like this and that. And I failed that first assignment. He was like, it's not that big of a deal, it's only 15% of your grade. I said 15%. And he was like, as long as you get good grades on everything else. But everything else were tests, so I already knew that I was not going to do well. I ended up failing the class, but it was fine because I took another class that fulfilled the same requirement the second quarter, and then I took hella units my last semester at SFSU just to make sure. Again, I'm an overthinker, so I like to be over-prepared. Overall though, great school, loved it. I liked the experience. I don't know about the testing though, like, I cannot tell you how much testing went into that. Like, I was so stressed throughout the weeks, and then I would travel like all the time because I didn't get away. Number 3, life in the Netherlands. That is something else that a lot of people ask me, like, what is the nightlife like? What is the student life like? What is the, like, student or, like, school balance with nightlife, whatever you call it. I call it work-life balance. It was amazing. That's all I have to say. So, again, coming from the States, I lived a very different life in the States than what I was living in the Netherlands. Here, I lived a super stressful life, honestly. Like, there was a point where I had 3 jobs and I was also going to school full-time, so I literally had no time off whatsoever, and I also wasn't 21, so there was really not much that I could go out and do and, like, you know, get crazy. But over there, I did not work at all, just because I worked so much here that I had enough money to just chill over there. And then school, I think my first quarter there, I only went to school Monday, Tuesday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's just how my schedule worked out. So I really wasn't in school all that much. I mean, I still had, I think, 5 classes, which is pretty normal, but I wasn't in school Monday through Friday, and I was like Monday, Tuesday, or Monday through Wednesday, I can't remember. But every other day, I was pretty much gone. Like, I would book flights almost every week. I was somewhere else because I was really trying to travel. Like, that was a big goal of mine for doing my exchange. Like, I just wanted to travel. So I did do a lot of that. And then when I would actually stay in the Netherlands, I would do stuff with my friends. We would go on bike rides. We would go out for drinks, go out for dinner. And that was pretty normal to do during the week as well. Just, like, none of us were working, I think. We just did school. That was our thing because we were all on exchange. So we were chilling, honestly. Like, it was chef's kiss, honestly, living out there. And then just, like, the experience of biking everywhere, I loved it because I was not going to the gym, but I was biking every single day, and my bike ride to school was about 25 minutes, so I biked all the time. One thing that I would say is, if you are short, like 5'5" and under, it's gonna be a struggle to find a bike. Like, just go get a kid's bike. That's what I had to do because they had this thing called, I think, Feets, or is that what a bike is called? I don't remember what the name of the, like, app where you can find a bike. I'm pretty sure it's called Feets, F-I-E-T-S. You can rent a bike from them, super cheap, super efficient, but the bikes were just too tall for me, so I had to actually buy a bike, and I found one on Facebook Marketplace, so it wasn't bad, but it was a children's bike, so it was like blue and green, and everybody knew that was my bike, and it was so small too, and so, like, pedaling, your girl was struggling because everybody else's bike wheels are like this big and mine like this big, but I loved it. Again, I absolutely loved the life in the Netherlands. Everyone is super friendly. Everybody speaks English. I mean, I wouldn't say everybody, but, like, pretty much everybody speaks English, to where you really don't need to speak Dutch if you can't. Like, if you can, I mean, I would learn the simple phrases just in case, but you can go anywhere and everybody's able to speak to you in English. And lastly, would I recommend it? I mean, duh. Like, I think I've been just going on and on about the Netherlands. The only thing that I would say was a struggle for me was just schooling. It was just so much harder than American universities, or at least mine. To show you that I'm not dumb, I graduated college with a 3.7. I graduated high school with a 3.6 or 3.7 as well. I did not test well on the SATs and ACTs. I will say that. I was a little bit lower than average, I think. I don't remember my scores. But overall, like, I took APs. Like, I'm not dumb. But their schooling was a lot more difficult for me. But again, just experiencing life in a different country and how they do it, like, again, the whole biking thing to me was so cool. The roads are made for you to be able to bike safely. Like there's a whole sidewalk covering you from the actual cars. There's lights for bikes. Everybody uses a bike over there. Snowing, raining, who cares? You're biking everywhere and it's awesome. So yes, I would recommend going on an exchange to the Netherlands if you can. Is my camera moving? Not my camera exposing my messy ass room. But yeah, that is all I have to say. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments because I'm sure somebody else will have the same question, or you can DM me, whichever one you prefer. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I'm leaving the Facebook group for housing in the description box. I don't think you would need links to anything else. That's what people ask me for. But yeah. Alright, well, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!